Yo, what up, what up, what up? The professor is back. Brother Rahman Judah back on the scene to drop some beautiful vibrations. How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing out there? It's been a long time, as they used to say. I'm back, baby, and I'm back with a bang. I'm gonna change up how I used to do things. Before I used to come on Facebook and just like, write maybe 3 lines that would actually supposed to express my thought, but my thought was usually 3 pages. So I said instead of just writing 3 lines, and people not there are a few people out there who understood, and there were those who didn't. But the wisdom must be shared. It's all about sharing, building, edifying, empowering, and enlightening. So, baby, I'm back! And I'm back with a bang! I'm going to be dropping some wisdomatic essays. And this first essay that I want to drop today, because like I said, it's all about sharing. This first essay I want to drop today is one that God blessed me with. And it's food for thoughts for all the goddesses, the gods, the kings, the queens, and all the children of God. This is just food for thought, coming to you from a brother who grew up in the church. But now, since I've been doing my own personal studying and showing thyself approved, God has been blessing me with this wisdom, so I want to share this wisdom. And like I said, Rahman Judah is back! Bam! And I got some sweet wisdom to drop to you. So today I'm going to talk about what God blessed me with. It's called the Crucifixion Concept. And it has to do with the crucifixion of Christ. It has to do with the account of the religious leaders taking Jesus Christ before the government to have him charged. So I want you to listen to this essay. Alright? And I got a lot more for you. Because like I said, baby, I'm back. How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing out there? Alright, now, get ready for this. Take a seat. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Maybe about 10 minutes. But the wisdom is going to give you some serious food for thought. Just a little something for you to marinate on, reflect on, and just bless God. And let God reveal truth to thyself. Now, this is a special, special message. So I need you to understand this. If you, whoever you are listening to this message, if you are listening to this essay, then this essay was sent to you. Now you can receive this wisdom or reject it. Remember, Christ said seeds fell on 3 different types of soil or surfaces. Let me correct myself. The hard surface, where the birds came and ate it. The surface with a little bit of soil, but the roots wouldn't go deep enough. And then you got the surface with the great soil. And once the seed hit it, it took root. So remember, this wisdom has come to me directly into my temple from my higher self, and I want to share this with you. So if you, and I'm going to stress you, Y-O-U, big capital U with a period, you, if you are listening to this, then you were chosen and you were specifically designed to hear this message. So I share with you this food for thought. Let us sup together. I want to talk about when he was challenged by the government and he was challenged by religion. You see, the people were just listening. The people were following and the people were listening. But it was the authorities in the area that challenged him. And he was challenged by one authority that led to his challenge by another authority. He was challenged by the religious authority, Jesus Christ. Higher consciousness itself was challenged by the religious authority. And the religious authority, who didn't like what he was doing in the area, the region, all this news about miracles and healing, decided to take him before the government, Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate found nothing wrong in what Jesus Christ, higher consciousness, was doing. I mean, the government can't lock you up for healing people. You know, Pontius Pilate's words were in the Bible, it says, well, what did this man do? What is he accused of? And they could produce nothing to say that he did, other than
from their perspective, religious blasphemy. So therefore, Pontius Pilate says, well, look, my hands is clean. I'm washing my hands. This man has done nothing. I'm going to give him back to y'all. What the government is doing in this case is the government is giving Jesus Christ, Pontius Pilate represents the government is giving Jesus Christ higher consciousness back to religion, religious authorities. Now you have to understand, back in those days, Sadducees and Pharisees were what you would call today, they were the religious leaders back then. Today you would call them pastors, bishops, popes, evangelists, imams, religious leaders. Back then, Sadducees and Pharisees, religious leaders, was the same as today, the pastors and the bishops and the popes, the cardinals and all these other religious leaders. The same religious structure, leadership. That's what you need to focus on in this essay. Now, after government, Pontius Pilate said, look, he declared this man, Christ, higher consciousness, innocent. Y'all have not shown me anything wrong that he's done. So I'm therefore going to wash my hands and I'm going to release him back to you, the religious authority. The religious authority, now I want you to pay very close attention. The religious authority decided to crucify Christ. So when you say, who killed Christ? People say, oh, the Jews killed Christ. Oh, you're looking at the people. You must stop looking at the people in this role of the crucifixion of Christ and look at the concepts in order for you to understand what God is trying to teach you. You see, when you look at it from the concept perspective and not the role perspective, now you're looking at not Pontius Pilate, but you're looking at government. You're looking at Christ, higher consciousness, the wisdom of God, an individual who operates from higher consciousness, not one who is religious. Remember, it is the religious leaders bringing this individual before the government. In other words, it's somebody, yeah, we're taking him to court. It's like somebody, the pastor in your church would say, what that brother say? What he say? Oh, he said something different from our philosophy? Yo, have him arrested. Then he gets to the courtroom and the judge is like, well, what happened? In the new members class, he made some comments that was against our philosophy. And the judge would be like, what did you just say? Well, in our new members class, he made comments that was against the church philosophy and he broke the laws of the church. So we want you to lock him up, to penalize, to punish him. The judge is going to say, look, I have nothing to do with what goes on in your church. And this is basically what Pontius Pilate was saying about higher consciousness, or what other people call Jesus Christ. Pontius Pilate was like, yo, this man has done nothing wrong. Healing people and preaching and teaching people. He's done nothing wrong from a government perspective. So you must look at not Pontius Pilate, but you must look at what the government says about not Jesus Christ, but higher consciousness itself. But now, there is one who fears higher consciousness. And this one is a religious leader. You see, the government says, well, the man is healing people. I can't arrest him for healing people. I'm going to lock him up. He hasn't broken any of our laws. He hasn't broken any government laws. But according to what the Sadducees and Pharisees thought, he broke their so-called spiritual law when Christ was the law. And he was working within the law, using principles of universal law, which is what higher consciousness is all about. But the religious leaders said, Once they got Christ back in their care, they crucified him. Now you must understand, let's not look at the human beings in this. Let's look at the concepts. You have religion, you have Christ, this man, this one who operated from higher consciousness, this one who walked first with love and had the ability, the power to heal. And then you have the government. The governor, Pontius Pilate. He did nothing wrong, Pontius Pilate says. Forget the individuals. Let's look at the concept. The government found nothing to accuse higher consciousness of. But yet, who did accuse higher consciousness? Religion. Religion said your way is not good for our way. Now you have to understand, Christ was healing people. Christ was teaching people love first, the first law. Healing and promoting love. But yet, religion says, no, hold on, we have our own way. So therefore, we must crucify you. Now remember, the government says, hey, there's nothing wrong with his way. The religious leaders, on the other hand, no, dude. You know, you got a lot of people following you. You know, we ain't getting our tithe money. You know, people ain't coming to church, man, because they listen to this Sermon on the Mount. They all be over here by the water with you. You out on the boat. You know, you healing people, man, and we ain't healing people. You know, the gods are responding to what you call and you bring about, and we ain't doing anything. They don't even recognize us. You know, we got to get rid of you, dude. You see, so you have to understand, when you remove the people from the stage, when you remove the people from the roles, you're looking at the concepts. You're looking at the concept of religion. You're looking at the concept of a man with higher consciousness, knowing thyself, worshiping, understanding his kingdom is within, and then you're looking at government. So you're looking at government, higher consciousness, and religion, and the whole exchange between Jesus Christ, Pontius Pilate, and the Sadducees. Once you take the individuals out of the roles, just look at the concepts. Basically what you had was your natural, spiritual, evolving self being challenged by religious leaders who want you to think and act a certain way. So they tried to crucify this way because for some reason you have the power to heal people and you're promoting love, but it's not in their order, it's not their way. So they're going to take you before the government and throw you in jail. So the government brings you into the court and says, okay, what's the charges against this man? Or what's the charges against this concept? Well, there are no charges. You know, he's, you know, it's just not doing the things the way we have already set this thing to be done, and people are beginning to follow this way, and it's causing us problems. Quote, see that as financial problems. Financial problems is always a threat to the religious institutions. Sometimes it's not necessarily about natural, spiritual, evolving growth. It's about finances. So, when you remove the people, now you just have the concepts. You have religion. Forget the leaders. Just look at the concept. Religion. Then you have Christ, higher consciousness. He who evolves naturally from personal study, showing thyself approved, knowing thyself. This is what Christ was a master of, universal law. And then you have government. Pontius Pilate. The structure of government. Order in society, not necessarily order in the church. You see, religion is order in the church, so-called spiritual institutions. According to my wisdom and my study and my research, the self is the only real spiritual institution because God resides in the self. So that's the point I just wanted to bring out today. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I just want you to think about that. Once you remove the role players, just look at the concepts of what's being challenged on the board. In that scenario of Christ and the Sadducees and the religious leaders bringing him before the government, you have religion challenging natural spiritual growth in God, higher consciousness that naturally evolves in a man, whether he opens a book or not, because God don't need you to open a book. He will give you experiences that will teach you and help you evolve spiritually. And then you have government, you know, who have their natural order in place. As long as you're not a threat to that order, they don't mind you evolving spiritually. Remember, Jesus Christ did say when they showed him the money, he said, whose face is on that? And they said, well, it's Caesar's face on it. He said, well, give Caesar his back. In other words, he's trying to tell you, if Caesar asks you for a certain amount of that money with his face on it, and according to Caesar's laws, then give that to Caesar. If you practice higher conscious principles, you don't have to worry about that affecting you, because if you practice higher consciousness, God will always bless you. Because if you practice universal law of giving, you shall receive. Now, the problem is, religion wants that giving in their direction. Well, that's a whole nother topic. But I just want you to understand that concept, that whole concept there about Christ and that whole scenario in the Bible there where he was brought up before the government just before the crucifixion. A lot of people are looking at the characters and trying to memorize the stories and get the dates right and who said what. That's not really what it's all about. You have to come to know thyself. What God is really trying to show you, the concept. That's just a stage playing a role. The concept is what you're to understand. And the basic concept of this essay is this: that religion and its principles and its staunch rules kills natural spiritual growth that is innately woven into the existence, the experience of man as he grows in God. That's why the government knows that he can't monitor spiritual growth in every home. So he don't worry about that, long as that spiritual growth doesn't lead to breaking of government laws. That's why Pontius Pilate told Jesus he's not guilty of anything. He didn't break any of our laws. But was Jesus breaking the laws of the church? Yes, he was, because he was showing people that you grow and you evolve spiritually naturally in God, and you need not no one else's temple or their spiritual ideas. But if the temple and their spiritual ideas contribute to your spiritual growth and not to your demise, maybe you can take what is being fed there. But remember, you are responsible for your spiritual growth and your spiritual involvement. God holds you responsible for the food that helps you to spiritually evolve. And I must end it right there. So this is the professor, once again, just dropping a little science, helping my brothers and sisters to learn, to grow. I'm just trying to do the 4 E's: empower, enlighten, edify, and encourage. So to all the goddesses, gods, kings, and the queens, until we meet again, this is Professor Rahman Judah. And you know me. PHP, baby. PHP. Peace, health, and prosperity to all. And I'm out.